Nintendough Warz.
Greetings and salutations to all of my fellow Nintendo babies out there. Welcome to the first official episode of the Nintendough Warz Podcast, the #1 Nintendo-themed podcast hosted by your humble host, the esteemed Jordan B Peterson. Oh, and my little buddy Ben Shapiro.
From a logical standpoint, I understand the purpose of formal greetings and pleasantries, but from a more practical show standpoint, it feels a bit excessive and redundant. The people know who we are. Why must we be required to tell the people who we are?
It's just a nice thing that hosts do. They tell everyone who they are. And if anything is excessive or redundant, it was that little spiel. You're the one wasting precious airtime with your pointless blathering. Do you have any idea how many extra sound bites you just used up? Do you have any idea?
There is no such thing as a soundbite. You clearly just made that up. And if there was such a thing, it would quite literally be infinite in supply, thus making them quite literally impossible to use them up. Speaking of sound bites, I thought we were going to have a theme song. Where's the theme song?
Oh, so you'll bust my balls over saying hello to the fans, but then you want me to play a song before the show starts? You're just a big walking contradiction, you know that?
Jordan, calm down, cool your beans, because they are steaming right now. Your beans are steaming. Look, while a theme song would in fact eat up a few precious seconds of airtime, I personally think that the trade-off is worth it because theme songs are fun.
That is true. Theme songs are quite fun. But you know what else they are? A lot of work. The esteemed Jordan B Peterson is a very busy man. Just yesterday alone, I had 5 separate speaking engagements where I spoke to a crowd of lonely men about lobsters.
Let me guess, you told them to clean their rooms. We could always use AI to make a theme song. That could be fun.
A lobster's exoskeleton is sort of like its own personal room, if you think about it. So who has a cleaner room than a lobster? Nobody. That's who. Look, while I do agree that an AI theme song might be fun, I am fundamentally against AI on principle. I think it's bad, and that nobody should ever use it for anything, ever. That said, I don't impose my personal beliefs on others, so I wouldn't be opposed to you using AI to make a song and sending it to me. I'll splice it in at the beginning.
I'll get right on that. I'm thinking maybe something polka-themed, or maybe like a little bit jazzy. Throw in some lyrics about the show. Maybe have it say our names so you don't have to meaninglessly meander during the intro. Any ideas?
Personally, I think it should be as lame and cringy as humanly possible, maybe like a cheesy 8-bits chiptune song or something. And make sure to mention our conservative values and how much we love Nintendo. Speaking of cringe, did you see that comment on our last video? Some guy called us cringe. Can you believe that? Well, Cheeky Sneakson, this message is just for you. You know what's really cringe? A dirty room. I bet your room is filthy, and that's why you feel like you have to be a meanie.
Yeah, he's a big meanie, Bo Beanie. There's nothing more cringe than trying to hurt innocent people's feelings on the internet, except maybe for owning a PlayStation. Now that's cringe. Oh, and being a liberal, that's cringe too. Okay, so I'll get working on a song. Is there any other order of business that needs addressing?
Oh, well, I'm not sure how to put this, but okay, so the name of the show, Nintendough Warz. It's a good name. In fact, it's a great name, but what if we changed it to Nintendough Warz with a Z? Market research shows that the letter Z is perceived as significantly cooler and more badass than the letter S. Kids these days are all about the letter Z. That's why they call them Gen Z.
Wow, that makes a lot of sense. That makes complete and total sense. Good idea. We are officially changing the name from Nintendough Warz to Nintendough Warz. Okay. Can we finally move on and get into the show? If I don't talk about Nintendo soon, I'm literally going to explode.
You are always on the verge of exploding. You're like a little Jewish Yosemite Sam. You're also literally on the verge of exploding because humanity is standing on the precipice of World War III. But nobody wants to hear about real wars. The people want to hear about Nintendough Warz with a Z.
Hypothetically speaking, I think that if we were to pivot from discussing Nintendo into my opinions of Israel instead, I wholeheartedly believe that our loyal fans would enjoy that just as much. Talking about Israel can actually be a lot of fun. Hypothetically speaking, of course. All right, let's talk about the Mario movie. The Mario Galaxy movie.
In my opinion, I think that the Mario Galaxy movie is going to be a pretty good movie.
Me too. It looks pretty good.
Yeah,
I saw the last trailer and I immediately went on Robinhood and purchased another share of Nintendo stock. I'm predicting big returns on this. If there isn't some type of post-credit scene, I'm selling all of my shares on the spot. All 2 of my shares. I also have a pretty big poly market bet on whether Waluigi will show up after the credits. I'm very bullish on Waluigi these days.
Yeah, Waluigi is pretty hot these days. Some people are saying this might be the year of Waluigi. I certainly hope so. Personally, I'm hoping we get lots of close-up shots of Yoshi laying eggs from as many angles as possible. I saw that Birdo is in the movie, so that's an automatic 20-point deduction from my Rotten Tomatoes review. Enough good close-up shots of Yoshi laying eggs might just redeem it, though.
You ever notice that Yoshi's eggs come out of his butt and Birdo's eggs come out of his, or her, or its mouth, and they both use eggs as their primary means of combating enemies? So, like, hypothetically, Birdo could shoot an egg out of his or her or its mouth, and then Yoshi could swallow it and then poop it out, and it's an egg inside an egg. That's just crazy to even think about. It's just so interesting.
Yeah, that is really interesting. Yoshi's definitely reproduced by laying eggs, but what about Birdo? Is there even more than one Birdo? I've only ever seen one, never two at the same time. And if Birdo is reproducing with mouth eggs, it seems a bit dangerous because they emerge at such a high velocity. I've never seen Birdo gently spit out an egg, and I've seen Birdo spit out thousands of eggs. It makes more sense that there's only one Birdo. It must be an incredibly sad and lonely existence. Being the only Birdo in the entire mushroom kingdom, I see how that sort of life could build bitterness and resentment, leading to aggression and hostility. It makes sense that Birdo would be shooting eggs at you on sight, because deep down, Birdo is all alone. The eggs are a physical manifestation of its own incredible sadness transmogrified into hot, angry eggs. Not to mention Birdo clearly struggles with gender identity.
That's actually really deep. Nintendo are literally geniuses. I get goosebumps anytime I talk about Nintendo lore because it's just that good. Despite that, I bet some nerd in the comments is going to correct you about Birdo. I guarantee it's something like, actually on page 4 of the Super Mario Bros. 2 user manual in the second sentence of the third paragraph, it's explicitly stated that there's an entire race of Birdos and they're all transgender.
God, I hate nerds. The only thing they're good for is giving wedgies. What's worse is they say stuff like that, then have the audacity to call you cringe. It's like, bro, you know way too much about Birdo. That's cringe. Put down the Birdo fan art and go clean your room, bud.
The only thing I enjoy more than owning hypothetical liberals is owning hypothetical nerds in comment sections. It's the essence of my life, and there's no shortage of nerds to own when it comes to Nintendo. Just tell them they smell bad. Whether they do or do not, in fact, actually smell bad, it causes a complete and total malfunction of their entire brain. It puts them into full angry nerd mode. It's great. It's like an implanted CIA code that activates them.
That's because it is. The CIA and Mossad have been using nerds to spread political ideologies and mind viruses across the far fringes of the internet for the last 2 decades. Some of the well-known activation words are smelly, virgin, and incel. These phrases send the subject into a seemingly meth-fueled frenzy where they will devote their entire being into verbally destroying you with multiple paragraphs in an effort to humiliate you and bolster their precious supply of upvotes.
Wow, that's super fascinating and makes a lot of sense. Therefore, it is also probably true. Those CIA guys have their fingers in everybody's pies. They just love fingering pies. Speaking of pie, a little birdie told me that yesterday was Pie Day, March 14th. I've got a pie in my kitchen just waiting for me to go finger it, so I'm going to go. I'd say that was a successful episode. We covered a lot of real important stuff, and now it's time for pie.
Yes, we definitely accomplished a lot today. These are the sort of important discussions that the fans come to the Nintendough Warz with a Z podcast to hear about. If you don't mind, would it be all right if I came over and stuck my finger in your pie too? The esteemed Jordan B Peterson possesses quite the sweet tooth.
Sure thing, buddy. I'll leave my back door wide open for you to come inside. See you in a bit. Bye-bye.
Farewell.